What's up guys, DuArktik with another Marvel Strike Force video, and in this video we are back to talk about the great news. We finally got the kit of Red Goblin, and I'm gonna be honest right away up front, it did not meet the expectations. We have the invoice once again saying that this was going to be the most plug and play character on the Hive Mind team, and I just cannot see exactly where exactly. Like, it doesn't get out of speed bar early on, the character is kind of slow, it doesn't do anything special, so I'm really not sure what the invoice mean by being the most plug and play character on the team. Now, this might be because of the new Cosmic Crucible rules for next season, for season 6, but on his own, outside of Cosmic Crucible, I really don't see the plug and play value that he's supposed to have, at least compared to Void Knight. That at least Void Knight, you can use him in Alliance Wars, you can use him in Arena, and he definitely has plug and play value. With Red Goblin, not sure, but you guys will let me know in the comments below as we go through his kit. So, as always, if you like the information on these videos, make sure to share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more Mouse Strike Force content, and make sure to smash that like button like a boss. Okay, so we got the kit on the blog, and we also have different information from the invoice. One of them is Ben Westside that does these infographics. You can find it on Instagram. And we also have the speed from the character, which was provided by Valley Flying, maybe, I don't remember. So the speed of Red Goblin right away from the beginning is 107, which is the same as Venom. And this type of situations where we have two characters on the same team with the same speed is really terrible. And it's terrible because you never know for sure who's gonna go first. And this is important because if you have characters that apply negative effects and others that spread, then you never know for sure which will go first and which ability will use first. And this means when you sim with the characters, you are going to have very different experiences. We also had this same problem with the Pegasus team, with the DuArktik and also with the Iron Man Infinity War. And it's just a terrible experience, and it makes it very inconsistent use on the raids when you try to sim. And in other game modes like Alliance Wars and Cosmic Crucible, where you need very precise turn orders in order for you to know exactly what you're going to do, once again, it's just terrible. So this notion that the invoice were spreading, that this was going to be the most plug and play character, I really don't see it, but that's based on the kit. Now, in terms of the stats, it's just a normal stats like every other symbiote. When they are together, they have a great amount of HP, they have a great amount of health, they have a great amount of damage, they have a great amount of armor, but that's to expect from any other new team. So that's not something that we should be bragging about, because it's just how it goes with the power creep of this type of games. Okay, so let's take a look at the kit of the character. And maybe you should start with a passive. So on spawn, when Red Goblin spawns, he's going to get Shard, he's going to get Defense Up and Deflects to himself and to the Hive Mind team. This is important because in raids they get destroyed very easily, and the Deflects will make sure that Firestar, for example, on the raids, she flips the Deflects rather than flipping the Defense Up, otherwise it will deal too much damage to you. So this is just a minor fix to help in the raids. In raids, on spawn also, Red Goblin is going to apply Taunt to the highest health Hive Mind ally. Once again, with the entire team, all of the characters will have the same multipliers for the health. So at the beginning, the character with the most health will be Venom, but at some point in time, it will probably be Void Knight, so keep that in mind. On turn, heal for 20% of this character's max health, apply 2 deflects and 2 taunts to the character with the highest health Hive Mind ally, and this works outside of raids, which is great But once again, this character is super slow and this effect is only on turn. So it's not gonna help you quite a lot, and it's gonna be very hard to manipulate the enemies in Alliance Wars in Cosmic Crucible for you to take advantage of this ability. If a charged, revive one symbiote with a 60% max health, then lose the charge. This is going to work even in other game modes, so it's always a guaranteed revive. How is this going to affect your team? I'm not really sure. Maybe if you use him together with Hive Mind, with Void Knight, maybe you can revive him again, and then he's going to provide energy to himself again and do a second ability block or something. It's not gonna be easy to really play with these characters. I think when they said it's going to be the character with the most potential for theory crafting, is just because how difficult it is to theory craft with this guy. Like, maybe there is some utility here that it's not easy to see right away, and the theory craft value is not direct like you have with Void Knight, once again. Okay, continuing the passive of Red Goblin, we have when this character or Hive Mind drops below 50% health, clear the taunt, then applies Safeguard and 2 Death Proofs, which is very good, and then flip the speed bar for self by 30%. Now, this is a big deal, but not as well, because when you have characters like Apocalypse that can do more than 60% damage in one attack, then this is not gonna trigger, right? So in that specific scenario, when you can bypass with abilities like the Brawn Ultimate or the Minerva Ultimate as well, the special for Phoenix, every time you can bypass from 70% to 50%, this type of abilities will not trigger. And with Apocalypse, for sure, is not going to trigger. But beyond that, this ability could be quite strong, and it can be used on defense or on offense. When an enemy takes damage from bleed, applies deflect to a maximum of 5 to all Hive Mind characters. And then we have on death of Hive Mind ally, get speed bar for this character. So it's going to speed up to allow you to revive the character in all game modes, which is once again very interesting. Gain 60% damage, Hive Mind allies gain 60% damage, gain a 25% blocked amount, and Hive Mind allies gain 25% block amount. Now, what is block amount? Block amount is how much damage is blocked when you block, right? This is going to activate with block chance in characters like Captain America, but also in characters with deflect. So whenever the enemies take damage with bleed and you gain deflect, this deflect, instead of reducing the typical 25% damage, it will reduce by 50% damage, which on top of the defense sub that you have on spawn is going to be quite great. A lot of people saying that this team is not going to be good on defense. I'm not sure about it. I think one way or another, with this amount of damage reduction that they have on their kits, with the deflects, with the defense up, and with the insane amount of stats that they have for being a new team, I'm not really sure why people are thinking that they're not going to be good defensively. Of course, that once again, because of the theory crafting potential, they're going to be better on offense, but it's not that like they are going to be trash on defense. And I'm going to tell you from my own experience. I already faced Super Scroll and Symbiotes in Cosmic Crucible, and I got obliterated. So this is definitely a team that you should be very careful with. Okay, so this is the passive. So the passive, there are things here that, yes, they can be somewhat useful, but we don't know for sure because of how it interacts. The amount of mental gymnastics that you will have to do because of this passive is going to be quite great if you want to use this character to its maximum potential. Now, we are going to take a look at other abilities, and other abilities that are just so generic that we are not going to spend too much time on them. So, basic attack attacks primary target and adjacent targets for damage plus bleeds. Okay, that's it. Strike Rise Await does the same thing. Then we have the special attacks primary target, attacks adjacent targets, applies defense down and applies bleeds. Once again, that's it. None of these abilities are piercing damage, by the way, so the more we go on the meta, the less value this character will have. In raids, it also applies trauma, and it doesn't have any increase in focus for this, so probably more often than not this trauma will fail quite a lot, unless the defense down is applied first and then the trauma, but usually it's not the case. The unclear negative effects heals the team for 30% max health, and this affects all characters, not just Hivemind. And for Hivemind, they get more 2 regens, which is great in raids when you face a lot of characters that apply bleed to you. And finally, we have the ultimate. If this character does not have trauma, transfer 5 negative effects from each Hivemind ally to self, excluding stun. Then he's going to clear all those negative effects away, and he's going to heal for 15%. And then he's going to attack all enemies for damage plus damage per negative effect on the primary target, and applying slow for 2 turns. So this is like the ultimate of Agent Venom, and because it works in all modes, this should be doing a big amount of damage. Is that going to be the case or not? Once again, these are not piercing damage abilities, and here you have increase of the multiplier, not increase of the base damage. So it really depends on how many negative effects the enemies are going to have. In raids, you can also copy 5 negative effects from self to each of the enemies, so the potential there is much higher, and I really wish this would work outside of raids, because here, yes, we'll get some theory crafting potential, but like this, not so much. And then we have in raids also prolong the negative effects on all enemies by 1. More regeneration to all symbiotes, and this attack is unavoidable. So the unavoidable part is nice, okay, I guess, for such a big attack, but the fact that it's not piercing damage is going to be limited quite a lot. And another thing is that the attack is not unblockable, right? So if you are facing characters that have block chance, like Captain Sam or Vulture, they are still going to be reducing the damage of this ability by quite a lot. So, I mean, it's okay, it's an okay kit, it's nothing special in my opinion, and because of that, I really don't see where is that massive theory crafting potential that this character is supposed to have. If he would give the flex, for example, for all symbiotes, not just the Hivemind, maybe we could see something there. If you would apply Taunt on Spawn in raids and outside of raids as well, maybe that would be something interesting. But it seems like really hard to pull off this passive mechanic, and then you have to revive one of the characters. And what if you are facing so many characters now that stop the reviving, I'm just not sure if there is a really high potential from this character to bring to the table. And that's it. Like, do you guys see any value here? Once again, bleeds, more bleeds with defense down, okay. Then we have the transfer negative effects from Hivemind. Like, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. This big nuke turn 1, I guess maybe that can scare someone away, or maybe use some specific combo of characters to do that. But once again, this character is very, very slow, and the fact that it's very slow means he's very susceptible from attacks from other characters like Icarus, Kestrel, or anyone with a stun, anyone with a turning wind. So I'm really not sure about this. But anyway, that's the kit for Red Goblin. I was expecting a lot more from this character. I was definitely not expecting him to be a protector slash healer for the symbiote team. Is definitely a strange role for Orman Osborn with the Goblin Serum plus the Carnage symbiote to be doing like healing. I don't know, it's just so weird. But you guys let me know in the comments below how you feel about this character. Do you think I missed something about this kit? And do you think the envoys once again lied and overhyped about this character? Because I really don't see the massive plug and play potential that this character is supposed to have. But that's all for now, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you smash that like button. And if you found the video helpful, make sure to share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content. And I will catch you guys later.